Hi, English 111. This is Jamie. So this is the week 6 feedback for you, and a couple things that have to do with the class and getting your assignments back. And then I'm going to talk about writing first drafts. So the first thing is the grades are coming in for your papers, and what you'll get, if you haven't already figured this out or gotten your draft already, is you'll get one email from me that will contain a bunch of kind of confusing stuff, maybe at the beginning of the email, and then at the end you'll see a document, you'll see like a PDF file that you can download. You want to download that and view it on PDF, because what you'll see when you download it is a little icon that has a picture of a speaker. And when you go into that speaker and you click on that, you'll hear me giving you some comments. So you'll actually hear me talking to you then. And then also there's a bunch of other comments that I have using a grading software I use. I'm trying my best to give you guys good feedback that's specific but not too much. Many of you have emailed me and said, I'm still confused, can you help me out? I don't get what you said here. And that's great. I'm really hoping for that, because we don't have the benefit of the face-to-face class where I'm able to see you looking confused, and so your ability to do that is fantastic. So continue emailing me and say, oh, I'm confused about this, or what did you mean about that, or why did you have a question mark here? And that's great. That's what I'm hoping for. The next thing is that I would like you to remember that you should send me drafts if you're confused before the next paper comes up. You could say, could you look at this draft? Am I on the right track? What do you think I should do? I already had students who've done that. And I've been able to tell them, go back to the drawing board, or yeah, this is looking pretty good, and adjust it this way. Also, there's the writing lab too. Here on campus, I'm able to suggest that to people all the time, and it's a little easier to access. Those of you who are online need to take advantage of those things. You could call up the writing lab and you can email papers to them. And what they'll do is they'll either FaceTime with you, or they'll, or what's the other FaceTime? It's Skype. They'll Skype with you, or they will call you on the phone. Okay? And so now I'm going to shift over to writing first drafts. And I want to remind you that there is no one perfect paper. If you had a way of writing papers and you were like, that was working for me, there is no one method for doing it. Good papers are written for specific contexts. So a paper is only as good as it fits into the context that is being asked for. There's no formula. You won't be able to always use whatever you did on this last paper. You won't be able to repeat for the next paper all the time and have it work just perfectly. The things that we do always when we're writing for the workplace or in the rest of our life, which is what I'm preparing you for as well as your academic work, is you look at the assignment or what you're required to do. You're going to think about your audience. Who are they? What do they believe? What do they want to see? And then you're going to think about, especially in an academic community for your academic writing, that you're being asked to write to a higher level, like the highest level of academic scrutiny. So you want to be the smartest, which is to find nuance, both goods and bads, in whatever you're analyzing. And you also want to have the best level of scholarship, because what we do as academics is we're jumping into a big conversation, which is a big, wonderful conversation that we actually desperately need all of you to be a part of. And to get into that conversation, we need to be talking about the people who've come before and the people who come forward. Here's the resources that I used. Here's how this is helpful. Here's how this one might be helpful for this other thing. And then we all kind of step up to the plate and we get to have this larger conversation. It's exciting. It also seems kind of confusing and full of weird rules in the very beginning. So I want you to think about that. How can you be the teacher in your paper, right? The smartest self, the most interesting self, the one who in this zone really knows. And that's true. You are the one in your paper who really needs to have control over the information that you have there. Okay? And I have no doubt everybody's going to be able to do that. When you get to your first drafts, remember what Anne Lamott wrote in that essay I have up there, which is writing a shitty first draft. And I really mean that. I know, make a big mess in the beginning. She talks about a downdraft, which is writing it all down, and that's getting all of your ideas out, even the stinky ones. Not worrying about your grammar yet. Maybe vaguely in the back of your head you're thinking about a thesis or you're thinking about organizing it, but mostly just getting stuff down and giving yourself permission to do that. The problem I see some students get into is they're typing, and they're like, oh, my grammar's terrible, it always is. Oh, I can never do this. Oh, I'm doing the same thing I always did. And that talk in the background stops you from being able to write. The other draft she talks about is an updraft, which is where you're getting feedback and you're starting to clean it up. You're starting to just, this is when you get to think about your thesis. And this is when you go back to your prompt and say, does this look like the prompt? I mean, am I answering all the questions that the prompt asked for? Am I organizing it? You're kind of straightening it up, right? Then she talks about the dental draft, and that one is funny to me because I don't know, it's just a weird, sounds like a tool or something you'd use. But when I think about how like all up in my mouth the dentist gets, you know, how they're way back in there and they're digging around, that's the time when you're like, does this comma go here? Does that period go here? What I think happens a lot is we get a draft down and we're kind of trying to be polished with it, and then we worry really early about those dental things, the little teeny parts. It could be you have perfected the wording and the sentence and the periods in one sentence that ends up not being a sentence that connects to your thesis and therefore isn't very helpful at all. So I really want you to focus on that mess in the beginning and know that there's a process that we go through. And the process is so that it changes, and it should change a lot. And if you're writing things and they're just done and you're walking away from that, that's probably not, well, I know it's not your best writing when you do that. It's not my best writing when I do that. But I also know that it's not allowing you to really understand and embody the thing that you're trying to talk about. Even if you're not super excited about it, part of our work as writers is to engage our readers and help them be interested in it too. I'm here to help you. Please email me and please let me know what I can help you with. And now I'm going to try to figure out how to, oh, there it is. It's always hard to figure out how to turn this off. Thanks a lot. I hope you have a great week.